Good evening and welcome to the commencement ceremony for the class of 2018. Please remain standing at this time for the presentation of the colors by the young Marines. This evening, our Star Spangled Banner will be sung by Ed.D. Sensenig.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets regular, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Please remain standing for the retreat of the colors. Thank you. Please have a seat. It is my pleasure to introduce the Superintendent of Solanco School District, Dr. Brian Bliss.
Good evening. Welcome parents, family, friends, and especially seniors. Tonight's a special night in celebration of two things. One, what you have accomplished, and two, what you will accomplish tomorrow. So, by state regulations, graduation was rightfully scheduled for this coming Monday. But as the snow days piled up, one of you was brave enough to come and meet with me and ask if we could move graduation from this coming Monday to tonight. The reason for this request was not an academic one. It appears some of you have senior week plans next week. So we moved graduation to tonight. Now, you should know that it required an Act 80 application to the Pennsylvania Department of Education for an exception to the minimum day requirement. I went through all that. But really, the move was made for two reasons. One, senior week. Two, the student gave me a free soda. Not a wimpy 12-ounce can, but a 16-ounce bottle of Diet Pepsi. So that's why we're here tonight. In the interest of full disclosure, there were a few other reasons why graduation was moved tonight. They included family and friends and relatives traveling from afar, availability of our distinguished speaker, students starting college during the summer session, and students attending basic training in the military. But again, the soda and senior week. So you're anxious to graduate. I get it. You're ready to move on. You're anxious to begin your life after Solanco, and that'll happen tonight when you walk off this field. Parents, family, friends, faculty, all gathered here, they know this as well. We're excited for you, and we're nervous for you. You see, parenting is 90% worry. We worry about you. Are you going to succeed? Are you going to make the right decisions? We worry about how you'll respond when you encounter difficulties, when your character is tested, and when you encounter failure. We worried about you on your first day of kindergarten. We worried about you today, and we're going to worry about you tomorrow. But you should know that worry and care are really the same thing in this situation. So our worry for you is really our care for you. So let me tell you what I worry about. You live at a time with unprecedented access to information. It's a wonderful time for learning, knowledge, and discovery. You have access to virtually anything at any time. But that also means you have access to anything at any time. You can see the best of society and all that it has to offer, and you can see the worst. Every tragedy that occurs throughout the world you can know about instantly, and you can see it in video or photos. You can see tragedies, scandals, and the failings of humans constantly. The volume of it can be overwhelming. Raising children is often about spoon-feeding adversity to your children. Small challenges to overcome. A minor disappointment here. You learn along the way, you develop your character along the way. However, when you exit tonight, there's no spoon feeding, there's no filter, it is wide open for you. Some of you have massive social networks that you have cultivated over the past few years. Some of you are probably becoming increasingly anxious because you have a phone in your pocket right now, and when did you look at it last? I have one in my pocket right now, and I know rationally that pretty much anybody that could need to contact me right now is right here, okay? But still, I'm drawn to it. I feel like I need to look at it, but I'm not going to. I'm having a little battle here between my virtual world and my real world that's right in front of me. Okay. But let's face it, what's in front of me is genuine, it's authentic, and it's really better than whatever's sitting on my phone right now. Your social network may be large, but you should also yearn for authentic relationships, personal communication, meaningful communication. You can do both, but authentic relationships require work. Not just clicking like or forwarding something. It requires being present, listening, and communicating. But enough with the nervousness and the tentativeness. That's really for the territories of parents, teachers, and relatives. These are exciting times for you. I encourage you that while you have access to global knowledge, a large social network, that you find the most joy in proving yourself and your community locally and authentically. You may have a wide-ranging social network, but I encourage you to make where you live a better place. Make your interactions with those around you more authentic, less virtual, whether that's in Quarryville, across the country, or across the world. Now, I know you're anxious to get going. I know, we're excited for you. You are ready, so go forward and live authentically as I've described, and leave the worrying to us. Thank you. It's my honor to present our distinguished speaker for this evening, Dr. David Lehman. Dr. Lehman was a 1964 graduate of Solanco. The son of Roy and Esther Lehman, he grew up on a 120-acre dairy farm near Buck. He also attended Franklin and Marshall as a geology major and then attended graduate school at the University of Texas at Austin, but was drafted to the Army his first year there and served in Vietnam until 1970. He then returned to the University of Texas in Austin and earned his PhD in geology. He worked as a geologist for ExxonMobil for 27 years before founding several oil and gas exploration companies, and is the current president and CEO of DJR Energy, which is based in Denver, Colorado. Dr. Lehman has committed himself to helping others. He established the Lehman Charitable Foundation. He funds the Beat the Streets wrestling program in Lancaster, and he sponsors the U.S. Women's Olympic Wrestling Development Program. Now, in 1964, he received the same diploma you'll receive tonight. He moved forward and he excelled. And I'm sure with each success he experienced along the way, Solanco was always with him. So please join me in welcoming Dr. Lehman.
Thank you, Dr. Bliss, for those very kind remarks. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and a special good evening and congratulations to the graduating seniors from Solanco High School. Congratulations as well to the parents, teachers, coaches, and friends of those graduates. Achievements like this are a team effort, and I would encourage the graduates to remember to reach out and extend their thanks and appreciation to all of those who have made it possible for them to reach this point today. I would personally like to thank the administration of Solanco High School, and especially Superintendent Dr. Brian Bliss, Principal Stephanie Littinger, and Communications Director Keith Kaufman for graciously extending to me the invitation to return to Solanco and offer a few remarks to the graduating class. Graduates, as Dr. Bliss said, I was sitting in your same seat, at least figuratively speaking, 54 years ago, having graduated from Solanco High School in 1964. I am sure that those of you young people graduating today, that must seem like a long time ago. However, I can tell you for one thing for sure, and that is you may forget everything else I've said today, but one thing is when you return for your 50th reunion, you will not be able to believe how fast that time has passed. So with that in mind, what would I tell people graduating today which might help them in some way make the most of that time and journey? I searched diligently for that answer. And I think that I found it right here at Solanco High School itself. I'll come back to that in a few minutes. But first, let me tell you a bit of my own life's journey and how Solanco played a crucial role in that. As Dr. Bliss said, I was raised on a small dairy farm west of the Buck, the oldest of 4 children. My parents had not gone to college, but they desperately wanted to see their children be given that opportunity. Unfortunately, neither me nor my parents had a clue about how to get into college. You might as well have asked us to go fly to the moon. In February of my senior year, I asked my Solanco wrestling coach, Mr. Bob Hartman, if he would help me get into college. Coach Hartman had wrestled for Roy Phillips at Franklin and Marshall College. So he called Coach Phillips up and made a pitch for me. Within a week or so, I had an interview on campus. I had never been on a college campus before, and I was totally taken by the whole environment at F&M, the beautiful old brick buildings, the academic rigor, and the athletics. Within a few weeks, I had a letter telling me that I had been admitted. I was ecstatic. We didn't have lotteries back then, but I felt as if I had just won the lottery. It was at F&M that I was introduced to the science of geology, and this started me on the way to a very satisfied and fulfilling career. I've traveled the world, met many interesting people, and best of all, I love what I do. This short story explains my appreciation for and loyalty to the sport of wrestling, Solanco High School, and Franklin and Marshall College. These institutions all played a key role in sending me down what I am convinced was the right path in life for me. Now, I am the type of person who lives mainly by looking forward through the windshield rather than backwards through the rear view mirror. Therefore, the consequence and scope of my journey from southern Lancaster County did not fully dawn on me until a few years ago. In 2014, when I endowed the wrestling program at F&M, the college very graciously gave a dinner in my honor, and I was asked to say a few words. By the way, my former Solanco coach, Bob Hartman, by my invitation, was in attendance at the dinner. During my remarks, as I was recounting the story of my start on a dairy farm in southern Lancaster County, then it suddenly hit me. I did not have this in my prepared remarks, but I just looked up from the podium in the middle of the speech and said, you know, folks, $5 million would buy a heck of a lot of cows down there in southern Lancaster County. Certainly, when I was sitting there in your shoes 50 years ago, if someone had told me that I would eventually have the wherewithal to make that kind of gift, I would have said that they must be crazy. Let me say one more word about that. As Dr. Bliss said, that gift is one of a number which I have been fortunate enough to be able to give. The others include starting Beat the Streets Wrestling Lancaster, a program for at-risk youth, and sponsoring the USA Women's Olympic Wrestling Program. I would say to the graduates, when you yourself get a bit older and have some success, It is important to give back, not so much because others need the help, which they most certainly do, but mainly because you will find that you yourself will be more richly blessed. So let me get back now to the secrets of success and how I found a clue to them here at Solanco itself. Your Solanco wrestling coach, John Little, and I have been friends for a number of years. John has built up a great program here at Solanco. As an example, Ronnie Perry, one of his graduate wrestlers, wrestling for Lock Haven University, placed second this year in the NCAA Division I National Tournament. So a big shout out to Ronnie. I just wish Coach Little would send a few more of his good wrestlers up to F&M. John kept telling me about the wrestling facility which he and others had built down here at Solanco. Finally, a few years ago, I came down to have a look at it. This was the first time that I had been back to Solanco since I graduated. When Coach showed me the facility, I was impressed, especially compared to the tiny wrestling room we had when I was here. Coach Little showed me a room big enough for several mats side by side, and on the side of that, a room with over 10 modern high-end weight wrestling stations. This must have cost a lot of money, I thought. I said, Coach, how did you do it? He explained to me how he, the booster club, parents, and volunteers had literally gone into a cornfield at the edge of the school campus and, using a small amount of money, but using donated equipment, volunteer work, and by sticking with it, had caused the impressive facility to literally rise up out of the ground. Let's look at what it took for this to happen. First, the vision. Coach Little knew what he wanted, and he was able to convince others of the value of it. Second, persistence. By having to build this themselves, it took longer, but they stuck with it until it was finished. Third, hard work. By having to build it themselves, they achieved something beyond which they could have achieved by just putting in what they could, quote, afford, end quote. So there you have it, vision, persistence, and hard work. As we look over at the facility at this moment, of course, it is clear that something has gone askew. A late large snowfall has caused the facility to cave in. However, there is no need to worry. This is covered in the last bit of advice that I have to give to you at the end. Now, some of you might be thinking, well, some people just get lucky, and that is how they become successful. Well, any successful person must admit that there is an element of luck involved. However, I am reminded of the saying by Gary Player, the professional golfer. Gary's famous quote is, "I've found that the harder I work, the luckier I get." There is another element of luck which we all here this evening can be thankful for. We are living in what is, in my opinion, but not mine alone, the greatest country that has ever existed in the history of the world, our great United States of America. In my travels, I have witnessed firsthand the terrible plight of others in places like Argentina, Venezuela, Angola, Nigeria, and places where freedom and a democratically elected government does not exist. We are also unlucky in that, in addition to having our freedom, ours is a modern, developed country. There are 1.3 billion people on the planet who do not have access to electricity. Think of that the next time that a storm knocks out the electricity for a short time. There are over 1 billion people who even now, in the 21st century, live like that all the time. You and I also live in a time of great technological advancement, where many average people have available to them conveniences and tools which make their life easier than even kings lived in centuries past. Still, I would stipulate that each of us here this evening are pretty darn lucky. Now let's look at the other factors. First, the vision. Well, what you want to do with your life is pretty personal and an individual thing. I can't help you there. But you seriously might want to sit down and think about what you want to accomplish by the time you return for your 50th reunion. Stephen Covey, the famous psychologist and author of the book, The 7 Habits of Highly Successful People, had a phrase for this. He called it beginning with the end in mind. Let's talk about perseverance. Let me give you an example from my own life. When I went to F&M, the freshman sports were separate from the upperclassmen. The upperclassmen participated on the varsity. Our freshman wrestling team competing against freshmen from other great wrestling schools of the day, Lehigh, Columbia, Harvard, and others. We went undefeated. My own record, with little wrestling experience but a lot of determination, was 8 wins and only 2 losses. I was elated and really thought I was good. Then came my sophomore year. I don't know whether it was the schoolwork, being banged up from football or what, but I did not win a single dual meet match in my whole sophomore year. I was unbelievably discouraged and demoralized. Quitting would have been an easy way out. However, I hung in there, came back for a good junior and senior year, finished my career at F&M with an overall winning record, and was just inducted into the National Wrestling Hall of Fame. I did not quit. That is called persevere. I think that it started on the farm with my parents. They were Pennsylvania Dutch. They did not quit at anything. Let's talk about hard work. I have had the opportunity in my life to meet a lot of very interesting folks from all walks of life. I want to tell you about 2 of them whom I've gotten to know pretty well. They intrigue me for one reason. These are 2 very wealthy men who started with nothing. One of them has a Harvard MBA, and the other has only a high school education. Obviously, level of education is not the secret to their success. Not long ago, I was talking to the Harvard MBA, and he told me, "Well, Dave, I've just turned 74 years old, and I'm easing into retirement. I've cut my work week down from 80 hours a week to just 65. Think of that, 65 hours a week at the age of 74. The billionaire without a college degree is now 69 years old. He told me recently that he still works from 8 in the morning to 8 in the evening, 6 days a week. Clearly, hard work is the common factor in both of their success stories. Of course, if you are also smart and well educated, that is not going to hurt you. Graduates of Solanco High School, as you sit here this evening, I congratulate you again on receiving your high school diploma. If you plan to attend college, I would certainly encourage you to not only do that, but make sure that you graduate. If you're not going to college, I think I have demonstrated with my examples that you do not need any more education than what you have to be successful. The key thing to remember is this: college degree or not, no one is going to hand things to you for nothing. You are going to have to go out there in the world and work for what you want, just like what Coach Little did when he raised that wrestling room right up from the dirt of that cornfield. I would like to leave you with one parting thought. As you go through the next 50 and hopefully many more years, you will encounter times when things are not going your way, when it will seem like if it were not for bad luck, you wouldn't have any luck at all. Investors Business Daily, a business journal, has interviewed many successful people and compiled a list of 10 characteristics which they share in common. At the very top of that list is this one. How you think is everything. Always be positive. So, going back to the caved-in wrestling room, my understanding is that the school district is so pleased with the facility that they plan to rebid it and it will be built back better than ever. Always be positive. So remember to go out and work hard, stick with it, and always think positively about the future of the world and of your family, but especially of yourself. God bless you, and God bless the United States of America.
Thank you, Dr. Lehman. It's my pleasure to introduce our first student commencement speaker, Salutatorian Abby J. Nelson.
Good evening, faculty, friends, and family. I am honored to be given the opportunity to speak to you tonight. I would like to thank all of you on behalf of all the graduates for your support throughout the past 13 years. You have always been there for us no matter what the circumstances, and we appreciate it more than you know, even though sometimes we have a difficult time of showing it. As I look back on these past 13 years, it is difficult for me to fathom how far we have all come. From our first day of school to our final moments of senior year, we have grown remarkably as individuals and as a class. We have successfully persevered through the trials of our education and can now comprehend complex ideas that we would never hope to understand, as well as discovered the type of people we are and hope to be. Despite our personal and corporate struggles throughout our years of schooling and growing up, we have overcome them with strength and dignity and can now proudly present ourselves to a world of new possibilities, knowing full well that we are prepared for what is to come. Although it will not be easy, and there will certainly be more difficulties along the way, you can take comfort in the words of Isaiah 40:31. Those who hope in the Lord will renew their strength. They will soar on wings like eagles. They will run and not grow weary. They will walk and not be faint. As you go on to the next step in your life, whether it be serving in the armed forces, joining the workforce, or furthering your education, I know that God will enable you to be well equipped to handle any obstacle you encounter. I encourage you to continue to go through your life with the same strength and dignity that we completed these past 13 years with, and to always work diligently towards your goals, just as you have thus far. Amidst the striving for success in your education, career, and life, it is essential to realize that life is not about the accomplishments we make or the achievements we earn, but that the most important part of life is the relationships we share with others. In the end, our career or success will not matter compared to our investment in the people in our lives. The respect, kindness, and love we show to others will be the greatest success we can achieve and will affect more people than any accomplishment in career or education ever will. I urge you to never get too caught up in your goals to forget the meaningful things in life, and I hope that we will all treat others with kindness as we go forward. In the words of Romans 12:10, be devoted to one another in love. Honor one another above yourselves. I want to thank you all, my fellow classmates, faculty, friends, and family, for showing me love and support on this journey. You have all inspired me to live my life with the primary focus of loving others. I hope that the memories we have shared and the people who have influenced our lives these past 13 years will inspire you as well. This has been a very rewarding journey, and I am incredibly thankful that I had the privilege of sharing it with all of you. Our years of hard work and our investment in relationships have shaped us into the people we are today, men and women who are ready to enter the next step in life, no matter how big or challenging, because we can trust in God for our strength and depend on our relationships and love towards others to guide our purpose. I wish you all the best in your future journeys, and I cannot wait to see what amazing things you accomplish through your perseverance and love. Congratulations, class of 2018.
It is my pleasure to introduce the valedictorian for the class of 2018, Sophie M. Plechner.
My fifth grade teacher, Mr. Hutch, had a sign on his bulletin board that I can still picture clearly. It read, "Courage doesn't always roar. Sometimes it is the quiet voice at the end of the day saying, 'I will try again tomorrow.'" There is much truth to this statement. We have not become who we are overnight or had our success defined by one moment. We have found excellence time and time again throughout our education. We have made the choice to continue to, in the face of adversity, when the road to success was not quite a straight line. See, that's just it. We can't control everything that happens to us, but we can control our reaction to the situation. Excellence is a choice. It is making the effort to come to school for your group project when you're not feeling great, or volunteering in class, or deciding to talk it out instead of letting your anger take hold. It is so much more than a grade or an award. It is a feeling that you should chase after for the rest of your days. We have made the choice to pursue it throughout our educational careers thus far, which have culminated to this point. I hope that you find the motivation to carry on when you feel defeated and to never, ever give up. To do this for yourself without giving in to the overwhelming forces of competition and submission. Be the best version of yourself. Do this for yourself. It might sound selfish, but in actuality, it is courageous. To do what is best for you so that you may spread that inner drive and hunger for success to those around you. When bettering yourself, you can lift each other up without pushing others down. Courage doesn't have to be some unrealistic, heroic display. It is something that can be found every day in following the path that you create for yourself. We will forever be changed by the choices and experiences that fill our paths. When we leave here tonight, your slate can be as clean as you want it to be, but be sure to only scrub the surface. Leave behind the person whom you have spent your entire life molding and training to enter the world, prepared to be someone you have always wanted to be, and to embark on all of the adventures that will come your way. I urge you, class of 2018, to walk out into the world with courage. Best of luck to each of you on your future endeavors.
Thank you, ladies. As we approach your final moments of students of Solanco High School, I wanted to remind you of your class motto. Our lives are before us, our past is behind us, and our memories will be with us forever. As a class, you have made many memories over the course of your 4 years at Solanco. As a class, you have memories of classes, concerts, musicals, plays, clubs, and sports teams. For example, like the girls' softball team who will be playing a state semifinal playoff game Monday night. All those are the memories of a class. But probably more importantly, you have made memories as individuals. You each have a unique, one-of-a-kind, true to only you high school experience. From the day you walked in as a freshman and couldn't find your first period class, to tonight as you walk across the stage, you each have had experiences and memories that are unique to you. Those high school experiences and memories make you who you are and influence what you will achieve in the future. Take your memories and experiences and put them to good use in life beyond Solanco. As you take on the challenges beyond high school, hold on to your memories and keep them close. They will help guide you in the exciting new experiences and challenges that await you. Your class song is entitled, How Far We've Come. On behalf of the faculty and staff of Solanco High School, we can't wait to see how far you will go. Class of 2018, please stand. Dr. Bliss and members of the Solanco School Board, the students before you have met all the requirements to receive their diplomas, and I invite Dr. Bliss and Vice President of the School Board, Paul Plechner, to come forward for the students to receive their diplomas. Class, you may have a seat.
Jacob Bruce Ackerley. Alexander Allison. Sean Anderson. Priscilla Arbogast. Ryan Vincent Argenti. Morgan Armstrong. Autumn Rose Aucamp. Gage Axe. Kelly Lynn Bailey. Jenica Rose Baker. Reed Balliet. Elizabeth Barker. Alexa Elaine Barr. Kyle Barrow. Harrison Scott Bauer. Caitlin Elizabeth Beal. Andra Lee Byler. Skylar May Beamsterfer. Nathalie Esther Benitez. Colin Wayne Berry. Laura Marie Blevins. Lexis E. Blevins. Jack Boomsma. Eric Forrest Bowman. Jason Boyle. Ashley Brenizer. Jonathan Brooks. Thomas Allen Brumel. Brooke Brotzman. Ian Nathaniel Brown. Jada Marie Brown. I got you. Enia Brown Moore. Sam Bryant. Cody Bunce. Brian Caldwell. Haley Carter. Nicholas Hunter Casadante. Caitlin Ariel Casco. Alden Chambers. Grayson Charles. Molly Elizabeth Chu. Harley Mae Church. Desiree Page Clifford. Colin A. Combs. Aaron Joseph Constein. Anna Carol Cooney. Kendra Corbin. Audrey Faith Crandall. Paige Elizabeth Crawford. Jeremiah Creasy. Tasha Lynn Cueto. Tessa K. Cueto. Shiloh Dale. Audrey Rose DeFilippo. Caitlin Ann Dobinson. Kyle Dumbach. Brandon Doubts. Coleman Dow. Gage Dahl. Zach Eager. Shane Christopher Earhart. Eliza Ray Emsley. Hannah Espenshade. Lydia Ann Fetterman. Autumn Nicole Fisher.
Justin Scott Fisher. Cody Foran. Sage Eileen Foran. Ashley Fortna. Michael C. Frampton. Robert Francis Frampton. Jill Gardner. Katie Jane Gentry. Sean Gilbert. Emily Jade Goddard. Stephanie Teresa Golden. Tyler Golden. Caitlin Renee Graybill. Sarah Graybill. T. William Gold. Khalif Charles Haga. Cheyenne Madison Hancock. Julia Harper. Erica H. Sydney Hassler. Emily Elizabeth Hastings. Callie Adele Hecker. Connor F. Heher. Justice Marie Henderson. Alyssa Ann Henready. Courtney Henry. Aaliyah Renee Herb. Jordan Herman. Connor Hertz. Alicia Renee Hertzler. Jamie May Hess. Sophia Marie Hewitt. Brad Hill. Alexander Heineman. Nathaniel E. Hobbs. Blake Cameron Hodgson. Jordan L. Hoover. Gabriel Alec Horn. Samantha Howe. Seth Huber. Austin James Immel. Alexis Jennifer Jackson. Kyle D. Johnson. Aaron McCabe Jones. Zach Jones. Zane Keck. Devin Kennedy. Robert George Kiesel. Tyson Kilgore. Haley Killian. Ryan Alexander Kimes. Richard M. King. Matthew Allen Kreider. Theodore Joseph LaMonica. Caitlin Rose Landis. Lindsay Alexis Lane. Haley Ann Larson. George Ledesma. Lauren Nicole Lefevre. Brandon Chase Lefevre. William Lehman. Taylor Nicole Lalthian. Jose Lopez. Xiao Mei. Alexander Bryce Little. Will Lutz. Cody Madron. Angel Martinez. Damian Martinez.
Grace Matthews. Kayla Brianne May. Madison Renee McDaniel. Alexander William McDonald. Allison Eileen McDowell. Michael McMillan. Michaela McNamara. Emily Christine Mellinger. Joshua Mendoza. Kenneth Lee Miller III. Trent Marshall Miller. Keegan Thane Mitchell. Madison Gray Moats. Avery Moser. Elias Doranella Molinares Fernandez. Shao Moore. Oliver Morales. Cole Motter. Gabe Motter. Elizabeth Jean Mauer. Adriana Moyer. Wow. Eric Moyer. Zachary Mueller. Austin James Murray. Jamie Murtha. Hannah Jade Miller. Trent Stephen Myers. Paul M. Neff. Abigail J. Nelson. Rachel Ann Optenaker. Alana Openauto. Jeffrey Lee Ortlip Jr. Justin Osborne. Joshua Pearson. Delaney Margot Peffer. Sheldon Pfeiffer. Austin Whitaker Pinehart. Nicholas Perdue. Benjamin Groff Perry. Colton B. Peters. Brandon Peterson. Jasmine Peffer. McKenna Phillips. William Conley Phipps. Tucker Winsmore Pearson. Robert Pinson. Sophie Marklin Plechner. Madison Ann Pluck. Zachary Poole. Elizabeth Mary Pryor. Timothy Pryor. Randy Renee Rambo. Mackenzie R. Rank. Cole Rankin. Zach Rankin. Bryn Robb. Braden Robert Redkay. April Reese. Samantha Remigio. Cameron Risser. Gisela Liseth Rivas Caes. Cindy Parker Robertson. Dylan Paul Rohr. Devion A. Rowland. Christian Rowland. Benjamin Thomas Root. Marissa Juliana Roslin. Stephen Ross. Jonathan Michael Rush. Evan Salisbury. Hunter Sample. Giovanna Marie Sankis. Timothy James Schmidt. Eric Seibert.
Maria Guadalupe Serrano Silva. Nathan Shambaugh. Dylan Schaefer. Jason Kenneth Shiflett. William Simcox. David M. Sims. Caleb Simon. Chloe Jones Sisler. Joanna Gray Smith. Taylor Christopher Smithson. Hannah R. Snyder. Zachary David Spade. Daniel Christopher Spilker. Jacob St. Clair. Alyssa Stauffer. Christian Stead. Lucas Stoner. Abigail Lynn Stahl. Dylan Sturgill. Sarah Catherine Suida. Lauren Swisher. Marlena Victoria Tapman. Nigeria Ajane Taylor. Caitlin M. Tiemann. Christopher S. Thompson. Liv Thompson. Rachel Tice. Catherine Tipton. Tristan Towner. Avery James Troop. Jeremy Trout. Caleb Tucker. Anthony R. Underwood. Meredith Lane Underwood. Wyatt Vitalius Urbine. Nicole Ann Van Buskirk. Anya Emma Vanoy. Juan Vasquez Ortiz. Brandon Alejandro Vidal. Chris Vinson. Mackenzie Anna Wagner. Miranda Joy Waldvogel. Adam Walsh. Trinity Walter. Rachel Ward. Alyssa Faith Warfel. Tim Warner. Lyric Welt. Grant Wirtz. Benjamin Wayman. Matthew Scott Wisman. Tyler Jacob Williams. Austin J. Wilson. Mackenzie Lynn Wilson. Marcus Wingler. Hunter Wise. Karen Nicole Worth. Crystal Wolf. Cheyenne Elizabeth Wood. William Woolens. Patrick J. Workman. Jason Robert Wyatt. Xavier Zielinski. Joshua L. Zimmerman. Noel Nayana Zimmerman. Douglas Michael Zook Jr. Jacob D. Zook.
It's my pleasure to introduce the class officers. First will be Representative Jenna Marie Coleman. Treasurer Zachary T. Roten. Secretary Olivia Aaron Fisher. Vice President Emma D. Sensenig. And the President of the Class of 2018, Victoria Ray Delp. For the farewell address to the class, Victoria Delp.
On behalf of the class of 2018, I would like to thank faculty, friends, family, and emotionally unstable parents for their years of support and dedication to the students seated before us. We truly could not have done it without you, some of us more so than others. Surprisingly enough, however, before you sits the legendary class of 2018. Now, legendary can mean a lot of things, but let me paint you a picture of what legendary means in the case of this class. For years leading up to our arrival at Solanco High School, our teachers were dreading the day. If you ask any one of them, I'm sure our reputation far preceded us. We wreaked havoc on Swift and Smith middle schools. Teachers retired in our wake, and annual class trips were canceled. True story. But we moved on from middle school, and once again, were returned to the bottom of the food chain. We started over as trembling freshmen, losing our way in the halls of Solanco High School, diving out of the way of scary seniors, and respectfully sitting down and shutting up when told to do so during color wars. We stood in the back of the student section, stayed out of the dance circles at homecoming, and never ever dared to sit at a senior lunch table. This year, we sat where we wanted. We danced like no one was watching. We led the black hole with pride, and we won color wars. Now, We are big seniors, and we're still trembling, but for different reasons. We are about to face the real world with nothing under our belts, save 12 years in a brick building where each and every one of these teachers has taught us something important. Please don't mistake that to mean the curriculum. That came second. But each and every one of them taught us valuable life lessons that we will carry with us. Mr. McTaggart taught me that any subject can be the most exciting thing in the world if it's something you're passionate about. Pursue your passions with everything you've got. Our wonderful advisors, Mr. Gervin and Miss Armstrong, taught me that you can never please everyone. Always do your best, and that's all that can be asked of you. Mr. Smith taught us that it's okay to follow your own path and not the path of those around you. Be you, unapologetically. Mr. Rocker taught us that laughter really is the best medicine. Life is a lot more fun with a sense of humor. Miss Leininger taught us that being an adult doesn't necessarily mean you have to act like one. Never lose your innocence and joy for life. The beautiful Miss Y taught us that even sitting outside of a smelly bathroom with a bunch of teenagers can be done with a smile. A positive attitude can go a long way. Miss McRobbie taught us that everyone has their days, and that is more than okay. It is okay to be human. We made it to high school, we kept going, and somehow in the blink of an eye, we've made it the whole way through. We've grown, we've matured. Through our mistakes, we've learned important lessons, and then made those same mistakes again and again. We survived the hard times, and we celebrated the good ones. 4 years together has seemed simultaneously like an eternity, and nowhere near long enough. Tonight, we reminisce, we remember, and we say our goodbyes. As we look on how far we've come these past 12 years, don't forget to also look forward and see how far we all have the potential to go. Class of 2018, you are destined for great things. You are the next generation, the hope of the future, and I cannot wait to see all of your successes. Regardless of where you go and what you do, never forget where you came from. Once a mule, always a mule. Thank you. Class of 2018, please stand for the turning of the tassel.
At least the girl with the light will find her.